Morning, fellow Ghanaians. Last Saturday, July 26, 2025, this country shook with grief when it was announced that Daddy Lumba, that man who was more than a musician, that man that was a storyteller, a moral compass to many, a cultural mirror, had passed. At the age of 60, Charles Kojo had taken his final bow, leaving behind at least 30 albums and more than 200 immortal songs, and a legacy that was woven so deep into the soul of this country. From his juvenile days as choir leader at Joabin Secondary School to Europe stages in Germany, his path was clearly one of destiny. In Germany, he and Nana Champon formed the Lumba Brothers in the late 1980s and contributed to cementing the genre of Burger Highlife, that fusion of Ghanaian rhythm and diaspora swagger. He then went solo, entering with brilliance with Obia Temesobo in 1990, and then from there, building such a towering discography, including Sika Asem, Playboy, Bibi Gigio, Mesum Jesus, Poison, and Ahimfortune. But what truly set Daddy Lumba apart wasn't just the volume, the number of songs he had made. It was his vision. He spoke to every listener, from lovers to laborers to chiefs. And with such verses laced with proverbial wisdom and emotional truth. His lyrics resonated with so many. In Pim Dome, from that Sika album in 2008, that Lumba sang that Pim Tanmia, Pim Insudome, to wit, thousands may hate me, but thousands love me. This refrain was not one of ego, it was that of endurance. The song continued, and I'll say in English, if I'm vile, the almighty judge above awaits me. He positioned himself in such a moral perspective, alive to hate, anchored in love, undeterred by either. In Abinwaha, many jammed and jammed. It wasn't just sensual. Despite the controversy with the lyrics, it was a chorus of desire and immediacy. He dared Ghana to feel pleasure unapologetically. Even though Tommy and Anforsen and other DJs in those days of nascent radio might have refused to play that song on air, the nation demanded it. They sang it and they enjoyed it. In Teresa, gratitude-filled song dedicated to his high school sweetheart who believed in him and invested in him. He sang a chorus of gratitude. It was a declaration steeped in humility and affection, an ode to loyalty amidst ambition. He led us. He also built a bridge between generations. The native has since noted that he was, quote, a beloved maverick whose long hairstyles, bold leather jackets defined contemporary Ghanaian identity. In a society both conservative and sensual, he was fearless. Songs like Yentiobia, to wit, we won't listen to anyone, became the bona fide political and cultural refrain. When President Mahama at the time and Asante danced to it, it signaled that Lumba's message transcended music. It had entered Ghana's consciousness. Fellow Ghanaians, why do we mourn him so deeply? Because Daddy Lumba did more than entertain. He educated. Just this week, Parliament's tribute called him a cultural torchbearer. One MP said his lyrics were not only catchy, but laced with cultural idioms requiring reflection. He taught us the value of gratitude, of humility, of endurance. His songs were nourishment, not just to our ears, but to our sense of identity. Through heartbreak, through celebration, through faith, Daddy Lumba mapped out our lives in melody. The surge on Apple Music and other streaming side is unprecedented. 30 of his songs currently occupy the top 100 list. That is not just nostalgia, it is hunger, an unquenchable connection to his music the world felt too heavy for silence. Ghana's icons do not fade, they echo, and so do Daddy Lumba's tunes. Makramo, once a lament, now is a national requiem, and fans stream it non-stop. I have been to. Akwanuma and Sika chart high all over again, and its melodies fold now into funerals, weddings, protests, and love letters. They speak to us, for us, and through us. We also celebrate Daddy Lumba, the mentor. He introduced Uforian Ponsava Ohunchire, giving the young soul a platform that birthed classics like Otolege and Ojo. He championed Felix Owusu, Borax, Atina Tina. He set the table and others were able to feast. He never forgot where he came from, even as he flew above the clouds, literally. Internationally, Stormzy wore a Daddy Lumba t-shirt at the Global Citizen Festival in Accra in 2022. It was a gesture that brought tears to the legend, Daddy Lumba. And his song, Mpim Pim Domi, was featured on King Charles III's Commonwealth Day playlist in March 2025. Not just Ghana's champion, clearly, but part of global cultural heritage. When even embassies and presidents testify that his language, his craft, his soul carved Ghana's sound, that is clear immortality. Daddy Lumba was no saint, of course. He courted controversy. Conservative bristled at his sensual lyrics. Purists questioned his flamboyance. Yet the masses sang louder. That tension between tradition and boldness was part of his magic. He gave songs like Poison, that cut deep, Bibi Jijio, that healed, Eyena Dome, that celebrated faith, Pony and Encoding, that danced with desire. He sang of love, of money, of pain, of hope, but always of Ghana. When he died, voices across the political spectrum paid tribute. President John Dramani Mahama called him a pantheon among musical greats. Former President Akufo-Addo said his campaign songs shaped presidential journeys. MPs demanded state-assisted burial, declaring his life a national treasure. This rare unanimity across divides reflects what was a unifier, a storyteller, an icon beyond politics. But above all, for me and for many others, Daddy Lumba was the greatest Ghanaian musician. Not because he sold records. Of course he did. He sold many. And not just because he won awards, though he collected a lot of them. It was because he earned our trust over decades. He was consistent, authentic, sometimes contradictory, but he was always real. He bridged generations from 1980s choir halls to German studios to Accra lounges to streams all over the place. People born after his hits don't just play them. Like me, we live them. They may not fully grasp the tree, the idioms, the calls to resilience, the lamentations, but something in the beat, in the voice, moves them. It moves all of us nonetheless. He made high life modern without losing high life soul. This eulogy is not goodbye. It's an invitation to remember a man who turned tree into poetry, a man who dared to sing Yen Tiobia and then laughed at caution, a man who loved his roots more than the applause, a man that said, Abiwaha, when you arrive, the world matters less. Yet when he arrived, the world listened. As we prepare to bury him, whether state burial or by the fire of the people, let us promise not to let his lyrics fade. Let us teach young Ghanaians his songs, Theresa, and Pim Pim Domi, Yen Tiobia, but also the lessons embedded in them: love, endurance, gratitude, defiance, humility. Let us build institutions to honor pioneers like him. Let Ghana remember how he shaped our sound, our identity, our unspoken unity whenever his melody rose. Let every musician strive for that level of truth, not just his.
So Sending you a coming down. Oh, so be search out of tempo. Be I want you. Oh, so be quiet. It's a house without tempo. It's a only so you just say the number 116. It's got a number 116. Say the number 116. Oh yeah, 116. So don't cry. Today was a Deco International band. Yes! It's a special tribute. Celebrating the life and legacy of that Lumba. Yes, sir! Ooh, yeah! What up? Sweet tunes from the Deco International band. Yes, sir. We're celebrating the life and legacy of that Lumba. And the sweet tunes coming from the Deco International. It's all fun with and all the Lumba fans and song lovers. The session is for you and I. Okay.